Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Casts with Ed and friends. Thank you ever so much for joining me. This is a daily cast I've been particularly looking forward to. Could you let me know, first of all, everyone, can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Yep, excellent. Good evening, Spray Beers. Good evening, Grim. Good evening, Jen. Good evening, you. Hello all. Thanks for joining. And special guest this evening. Oh no. Let's say hi to me first. Hi. Special guest this evening. A friend of mine from Germany. We did some testing a while back in the final cut of a championship. And that's how we met. And we've stayed in contact since. It's Anna from Germany. Good evening, Anna.
Hi Ed, glad to be on.
Good to have you. Always a pleasure talking to you. Could everyone in the chat hear, Anna? Can we just check that before we roll away? Excellent. Hey, no audio problems. First time ever. It's an absolute treat. Great. So, how are you doing? It's thrown me, Hannah. I'm not going to lie. Having no audio problems, I know this in the chat. Good evening, Ben in the chat. Good evening, and hey, Bobby. Hello, Anna. How's your day been? First of all,
Been great. Looking forward to having a chat with you all week. Got a little bit nervous in the last couple of days, but yeah, excited for our talk today. How are you doing?
Yeah. To be honest, very much the same. Solomir, good evening. Thanks for catching up on the weekend streams. Just a reminder to everyone, if you do want to catch up on the streams, I have saved them all down below. You'll go to collections and you see, all the audio issues do eventually sort themselves out. We haven't missed a stream yet. You might have to fast forward a little bit. They're saved in the collection, which is titled Daily Casts, and really worth checking out. We had some great guests last week. Good evening, Goshi, as well in the chat. I've been quite nervous as well, Anna. I'm not going to lie to you. Because I wrote today's article, and if I scroll on my actual screen, when we scroll, that's the wrong article. So yeah, look, it's me in an article. It's very nerve-wracking. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, they read stuff and they think, oh, I don't like this, and they get on Reddit, they get on Twitter or Slack or whatever else, and it's like,
where's the Makler link, Ed?
Well, it's terrifying in a way, because I take it all personally. I might not have designed the cards, I might have just written the article. I had created this opinion change garbage. Thanks very much, Spray Biz. Thank you. But yeah, we were treated to today on International Women's Day. Zaya Sadeghi. Zaya. Right. Now, I spoke with Dis about this when I was writing the article, I believe. And apparently there has been a little bit of confusion about the pronunciation. And it's the middle syllable here. So you got Zaya. And the I isn't quite a sound that we make in English. I'm not sure about in German. But it's, that's an approximation, really.
I would have pronounced it Zaya from what is written there, but the English, it looks more as an I, so I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's go through the card first of all, as we always do.
Sure.
So, we have Zahaya Zadegi, versatile smuggler, identity cyborg. Whenever a run on HQ or R&D ends, you may gain 1 for each time you access the card during that run. Use this ability only once per turn. Flavor text. I obtain your desire.
The theming is on point, I'd have to say.
Thank you. Sengrin, shout out. I'm not spamming enough. I keep forgetting about your stream. If someone wants to pop in Slack General that I'm streaming now, ! Dreams, by all means do. Sorry, back to you, Anna. I didn't mean to apologise.
I got. I very much like the theming. It's a whole smuggler, high-class criminal. yeah, with flavor text, the artwork on point.
Mm.
Um, um, it's a bit of a coincidence that after the Wired article about Netrunner went up, I remember somebody from Nisei talking about the hijab of Ayla
Mhm.
and how FFG removed it, and if had Nisei known beforehand, they could have maybe done something. And now seeing a runner with a headscarf, yeah, nice coincidence.
Yeah, I think it's great actually. I like the kind of the contrast in the picture as well, where you've got like the black gloves that mean like down to business and the business suit with like quite a traditional headscarf as well. I
Yeah,
just think there's a lovely contrast in that art, the two. Um,
definitely.
what do you think of the card though? What do you think?
um, I think it's a great gateway ID.
Hmm.
Um, about competitive play, we have to see.
Yeah,
But for beginners to learn the game, it encourages running.
yeah,
It's easy to not forget, or yeah, um, and it's not as easily turned off as Gabe. When I first learned the game, and yeah, played the core set, played Gabe. The core put one ice in front of HQ, and as a new runner, I was, okay, it's costing me 2 credits to get in there. I probably see a card I already know.
mhm,
Why I am doing this?
yeah.
And with Zaya and Nikto staying in the card pool, thanks for the scoop set. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, there are 3 possible servers to trigger the ID. And it has a lot more versatility, being yeah, just all the cards you accessed.
Mhm.
We- Yeah, pulling a bit of pressure from HQ,
Yeah.
which I like.
Yeah, I mean, I think you put it just right there. So, this is a card that's replacing Gabe Santiago uh, in the in the beginner set. So, I think it's important. Good evening, by the way, Zerath Maxima. Thanks very much. Glad you enjoyed the article, and good evening, Talaris. Is Medium coming back still legal? Medium will. So, Medium was in Thingamy Thing and is now no longer in Thingamy Thing. Salvage Mems, yeah, likely rotating. All of Salvage Mems will be rotated. Some will then be kept in system update, but there's no confirmation that that will. Yeah. Thanks very much, Sangrin. Yeah. So back on Zaya. You want to teach new players that runs on central servers, particularly HQ and R&D, are important. Um, you want them to feel like there's obvious value in running central servers, and at the same time, you have to design as I say in the article, you're still trying to design something that people will play in standard. You don't just want an ID that says when you make a successful run, gain a credit. Yeah, a successful run. It's not interesting. It's not interesting. How can we create something interesting? Crit hit D20. Good evening. Um, uh,
Yeah,
and I
and
think the balance is struck here. I think the balance is struck. As you said, it is intuitive. Although I do understand there's been a few confusions about the rules today with this,
yeah,
and it
the, the,
is
the
slightly
wording is
tricky.
rough.
Yeah, yeah. I understand why the wording is rough. It is, for example, getting a little bit technical here with a single card. I do apologise if you are new to the game. But an example would be bacterial programming. You access it as the first card on R&D. You then might rearrange your HQ, or say you've seen a card, then bacterial programming. Then you rearrange your R&D and see the first card again. That counts as a new access. So it's an additional access. You do gain a credit for that. And there are just edge cases. Someone mentioned another one earlier. And yes, as DND, DMDB, I will say it smoothly by the end of the 4 weeks. I think the wording's rough because people are used to different wording for pretty much exactly the same effect. Yeah, and I think they rules were careful here to make sure that there's not an edge case that they have to explain away after the event.
Yeah,
Yes, so I understand the confusion, and it might take a little bit of getting used to what the effect actually does. But yeah, as Sengrin's saying, I think it works cleanly in practice. It's not something we've found confusing when we've been playing it.
Interestingly enough, it also triggers on unsuccessful runs and on upgrades. So if
Yes.
there's a critium on HQ, you
Yeah.
don't get the successful run for whatever that matters, and but gain an extra credit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. And the deck list. Now I have a confession to make. If you haven't noticed already, everyone, let's just put this on full screen here. I have a confession. It's confessions. This deck list is a little bit of a prank, all right? In case you hadn't noticed. So, when I made the deck, I thought it'd be a great idea to have a deck list where you could see the sort of cards that work well with Zaya. At the same time, I did not want to give away other people's spoilers where they can see the gaps. So I've had a shuffle. I might have put 45 cards in a 40 card deck. There may be some other things in there as well. There's a few Easter eggs in there. I didn't want to make it too easy for people to guess cards. At the same time, I did want to give an example of what her kind of list would look like. There are other Easter eggs throughout the article that people haven't spotted yet, but do keep on looking. You might find them. They might be a bit too cryptic. But when you look at this list that I've put together, what is this a sort of list you'd be thinking? Is there any cards that you think are missing? And remember, this is, and we'll get to Startup in a minute, but this is a Startup deck list. For those who don't know, Startup being the Ashes cycle and System Gateway and System Update as the legal card pool.
First off, I was a bit confused building a 40 deck size deck with so many 2-offs. I thought, you can have so much consistency, but I understand you want to show off as many cards as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So good decision on that part.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot of good stuff. It's a bit questionable where the influence went. Like, I think the only influence we know is Pantograph as a 2-off.
That's right. Yeah, we do know Pantograph.
So that's interesting. That the other out of faction cards are so potent that you don't want something like Crowder in your list and instead play Makler. Maybe there are other effects that trigger off of that synergize with it. But it's great seeing deck lists and that you can go back to afterwards when System Gateway comes out and when for the future when people go back to it.
Hopefully new players can go, right, okay, how do I make this into a deck that's actually going to win a game rather than just a pile of cards. What were your thoughts then? How are you seeing Zaya fitting into the meta? I mean, do you see it as strong in Criminal being a strong faction already?
It kind of seems to okay. In standard, I think it's a very good stuff. One-based criminal ID. Like you can play all your dirty laundries, bravados, hot pursuits, or jailbreaks, and it's still. It seems like we will get a lot less static multi-access tools, like more of medium and turning wheel and less HQ interface or RD interface. So we'll need to play more legworks or events like that to make the ID worthwhile, especially also compared to stuff like Ken Tenma, who just gains the credit for every run around. I can see some good combo stuff coming out of her. Like maybe counter surveillance, going tag me, and being just great for the counter surveillance. Maybe not the game-winning counter surveillance stick, because then you can't win the game and get a bunch of money. So what? But maybe a 7-card counter surveillance and multiple of it sounds great.
Yeah.
Maybe recurring them with the back and going in there with 3 boomerangs in your 40-card list. Yeah, I can see there being a good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely like that idea, and I kind of alluded to the second half of that. Is I think if you get through your cards quickly and you get your boomerangs installed, reinstalled, and reinstalled, you're paying for your big turning wheel deep digs. If you can get the counter surveillance to get a deep enough dig and you don't die from it, I mean, it's dangerous because it's paying for itself. It's credit neutral.
Also,
And
I like
yeah,
I like the Hoshiko effect of you make a run and get paid afterwards. Like Hoshiko, you flip and gain 2 credits and a link,
hmm
and it's a bit of protection for run punishment. Like you
mm,
don't get as easily hard-hit in it or as easily seesawed with
yeah,
this ID, which is also beginner friendly if
yeah.
they come into startup.
Yeah, very much so. And Crim's carpool, I think in startups, going to be quite powerful. Let's just jump over to startup. So, for those who weren't aware, an article came out about an hour ago announcing the official name. Most people knew the name already, but just officially announcing the startup format. Keith, good evening, and Eric Whiteblade, good evening as well. Officially announcing startup format. So as I said before, it's Ash's cycle. Going forward, it'll be the most recent Nisei narrative set, which is Ash's at the moment. That will then go to Bash's. The most recent system update, which is system update 21. Again, going forward, that will change. Good evening, Swery Princess. And System Gateway, which will be a big box that will stay in rotation for a longer period of time. It is a supported format, which means Nisei will be running tournaments down the line for it. And I tested quite a lot of startup. So just a little bit about me. Just a little bit about me, because I'd never get the chance. I joined Nisei playtesting in April. Because I thought it would be important to have a beginner / less experienced player in playtesting. So you've got a balance, particularly with a beginner set. And I played a lot of games. But I did play, in particular, a lot of startup. Good evening, Quickfire is one narrative set, always going to be 2 releases. As is, yes. Whether that changes down the line, not sure. But yes. Played a lot of startup, and I have to say it's a Wild West format. It's really cool. Whether down the line there'll be a ban list, I don't know. It's not going to start with a ban list, that's for sure. Much the same as if you have seen it in Green Level Clearance before. What was the modded tournaments, which have been very popular. I don't know, have you played in those, Anna?
Yeah. I subbed for Dojo when he hadn't had time to even out the numbers, but in the past I've also played for myself. It's a great way to start out, getting the game to, getting the game to know. I don't know.
Getting to know the game. Yeah.
Getting to know the game. Thank you.
Mm.
And as I started with Project Crow, but just having for the deck building challenge, having a more limited card pool was really great to just get to know what is possible in Netrunner. And there's been some great deck lists posted on the GLC Discord. There's a spreadsheet with lists categorized by how advanced they are. Great stuff on there.
Yeah, I filled in over the last few weeks. I filled in on some modded games for the first time, and I absolutely loved it. I loved Update as well, and I know a lot of the playtesters that you've seen around. Yeah, that's right. How to Break. Good evening, Kiambe Grid and Gold Farmer Illegal. Good evening, Bushi as well. Yes, they are legal. You can play Gold Farmer. You can play Kiambe Grid, and it is a supported format that will have tournaments. The playtesters are all quite excited about this. I know Sengrin was in the chat earlier. Sengrin's working with Weeble from GLC, and they're putting together a tournament just after release. There'll be some more announcements about that quite soon as well, but that's something really to look out for. If you're looking to go that in-between step between, perfect, just put up the posting, shout out to Sengrin. It's great for if you want to explore the card pool, but 7-8 cycles is intimidating. It's a perfect way to get in. And I believe the playtesters have been building decks. So if you're scared and I don't know how to build a deck still, there are some tested, balanced decks ready and waiting for you. I can promise it's going to be a ton of fun to play, and will be better than, dare I say, this pile of cards here.
That sounds awesome. Your website in the next couple of weeks or next 2 weeks.
I believe I saw next week. I saw someone post it in about a week's time. I think someone posted it just beforehand. But that's super exciting. I was speaking to Spencer about it last night, and Spencer was certainly very, very excited. I know he's been working on it quite a lot along with the rest of the team.
Just
a little shout about today's fiction as well. I don't know if you got a chance to read the story, Anna. I every day I say this fiction's amazing, and I just think the quality of every single lore story has just been phenomenally good. It's not something I'm particularly interested in normally, but I suppose having sort of been invested in these characters for a while, I've just found them great. I think they're all really good, and this one is no exception. And it does beg the question, and I'm going to put a question to you now, Anna. Who is Netrunner's best single mum?
Single? I don't know about the relationship status of Sunny, so I'll have to go with Zaya. No, it's great to see more parental figures. They are a great opportunity to just build.
I'm being told.
Amazing stories.
I'm getting told my lore knowledge is awful, Anna. Sunny is married. I thought she had a partner. Yeah, I was about to ask.
Yes,
Sunny's married.
The lesbian moms, I believe.
I think her wife isn't her wife up in space somewhere. Am I making this up? Is her wife in space? And it's like Earth's. That's why she's Earth's best mum, because her wife is not on Earth.
Sounds very plausible.
Anyway, Sonny's wife works on Mars. Thanks, Dis. Yeah.
Okay.
I told you I hadn't paid attention to the lore enough. So,
I think we're both a bit newer, so I think we can be excused to not be up to date on the lore that was released a couple years ago.
Yeah. I have got all the lore inserts sitting in a folder just down there, so I'll have to be putting them all out and having a read over the next few days. What did you think about this? What could this be? I think again, just another.
Is that a console?
I'd say every day it could be console, couldn't it?
Yeah, like wasn't there some console upper sleeve or something? And that looks very much sleevable. I don't know. I can't quite remember what she did with the console. If there was a effect associated with it in the fiction. There's been a lot of Netrunner terminology in the story, like bravado, flip switch, and so on, which I enjoyed.
It's
having
nice
those references.
Yeah. It's a very enjoyable story. It really was. So we're getting towards the end. We've seen all the 3 runners now. Which runner are you most excited? Which runner are you most excited to play? I guess my question.
Definitely Tau.
Okay.
It's just um, um, it has a more interesting ability as it's not purely economic. I
Mhm.
think it opens up more plays, and with a 40 card size deck, I hope to make some stealth jank work.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and yeah, then the second surveyor can't hurt your after image anymore.
Mm.
I'll quite enjoy that.
Well, yeah, and actually, I saw. Speaking of stealth, some people were talking today about building stealth in Zaya as well. Again with the
Yeah,
40 cards, and you've got after image, and I just wonder.
yeah.
It's probably a bit of a trap, but I don't know. You're
Why?
converting net Mercure credits into actual credits, aren't you? Stealth credits going to real money.
But you spend the net Mercure credit, so you gain a net Mercure credit. So you're still one credit up, I believe,
Mm.
and gain
Mm.
an extra access with MU Safecracker.
Mm. Yes,
So I
there might be
think
something
that's
there.
totally value.
Yeah,
No, no.
definitely. Again, and it's a shout to the design and development team that all of their runner IDs seem to be able to have a variety of different play patterns. And I do think Zaya will probably be strongest just as a good stuff crim deck. Looking at uh, uh, messing with centrals,
Yeah,
maybe with some inside jobs as I mentioned to get in. But ultimately, you've got a good
yeah,
crim economy engine, and you'll be using that to get into centrals time and again, charging up turning wheel counters, for example.
yeah.
But
Do you
being
know
able
if
to do some unusual stuff. Sorry, Hannah, please.
no, all good. Do you know if Bankroll is rotating? Getting
I'm not sure.
some run value in. Haven't seen that card in a time in some time,
No,
but
that's
I
not a bad
always liked it.
shout. Yeah, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I think bankroll sticks around. Egg close to nailing the present pronunciation there. Zahaya. I'll get there. I will be listening to audio cassette tapes of Arabic in due course. Um, yeah, bankroll is in Rain and Reverie. That's right. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, I think you're right.
No.
Just even so, even your single accesses. Um, you're still
Yeah.
getting a credit back for them, which is no mean feat.
No.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you. I have now nailed the presentation for your pronunciation. For your pronunciation queries to come to Head Fortune. Be here for
Uh,
you. Um,
yeah. I think there will be a bit of a distinction if you go like access every turn to get trigger the ID a lot of times, or just doing the big runs, the Maker's Eyes, the legworks.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know how often you can trigger the ID uh, consistently, like every turn. Maybe with cards like Jailbreak, but we'll see how many of those are in Gateway.
yeah, yeah. And no, I didn't put jailbreak in here. Part of it as well. Just there were quite a few questions about this list today. Part of it, I didn't know what cards were going to be spoiled, and I didn't want it to be a list of cards that are in Gateway because it's no fun for anyone. You're just going to read a list of words and go, oh, well, and I'm going, oh, something you don't know, and no one enjoys that. I just wanted to put a couple of little tidbits in there. But yes, no, absolutely, jailbreak would work very well in Zaya.
Hmm?
Yeah. Anna, was
Yeah.
there anything else you wanted to talk about this evening?
Um, I think we went through everything
Mm.
Nissan news-wise,
Yeah.
so nothing else on my part.
No. Just to the Twitch audience, Deep Law, this is a step on a master plan to give a runner for every letter of the alphabet. Bonne chance avec ça. Good luck. Good luck. I said before, but Sengreen has posted the Always Be Running link in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit, you'll see the link there for the startup tournament. Sanjay, I saw just before I went online, has posted in Reddit a link to his YouTube channel, and he's been playing with some of the IDs that are going to be leaving and rotating
Yes.
out.
Um,
I've caught a few of his streams; they've been excellent. But he's loaded them all onto YouTube now, so they're really good fun and definitely worth going back for a watch. If you just check Reddit, it posted about 20 minutes, half an hour ago, so well worth looking at
um,
those.
Also, speaking of JNet,
Mm,
the first cards are up on JNet if you want to try them.
yeah,
Like play a Tau jump jailbreak deck. I would have tried Zaya, Zaya
yeah,
um, today,
it's
but
good. It's very
sadly
good.
that's the one card not available. So
Mm.
we'll have make do in the next couple days.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to assume that they'll do maybe one update a week with that week's cards that have come out. Let's try and not turn the TV off here. What's it doing? No. Excellent. Hopefully my TV won't turn off. It's my second screen. But yes, last week's scoops, the majority of them, I believe, if not all of them, are available to play on JNet now. NRDB's updated as well. And I think some people have been trying them out already, or they haven't caught up with them yet. But certainly you can put your deck building skills into action if you
Yeah.
see fit. Yeah. You can always remember, you can always label your game casual. It doesn't always have to be standard. You can play whatever format you want. It doesn't matter. You can just play in casual. No one's going to get cross with you. A note. I don't think there's anything else from me today apart from mentioning the competition once again. I've had another 3 entries today, which is brilliant. So I'm now going to have to actually make decisions about who gets prizes, which I wasn't looking forward to. I was hoping I'd get just 3 entries. Thanks, everyone. But no, certainly find me on Discord. Discord's now in the title as well as to the side of your Twitch stream. Ping me a message with your art of any type inspired by Gateway cards. I'll be judging a winner for the last day of the stream. Anna, thanks ever so much for joining me this evening. How do you enter?
Yeah.
Yes, you enter just send me a DM of a piece of art of any sort. It could be interpretive dance. It could be a dive off a 30-meter board if you feel that is appropriate. Whatever it is, send it to me via DM on Discord. Link in the description. If you haven't followed the channel already, everyone. If you haven't followed the channel already, if you follow the channel, you get a notification that says Ed is live now with the daily casts, and then you don't miss me like so many people do for the first 5 minutes of the stream.
Or you can get a notification on Discord in the streams channel.
That's absolutely
Also,
right, yeah.
always post it when Sanjay goes live. So you don't.
Yeah, and the other Netrunner streamers as well. And if you do have, final thought, if you do have a stream and you want people to promote it, again, if you contact me, I now know how to set up the stream bot without it pinging every single of the 1,700 members that the stream's going live. Apologies for that. Anna, thanks ever so much for joining me today. Tomorrow it's the last ID. We've got the NBN Corporation ID, and I'm joined by a very, very good friend of mine who's going to talk about the story that he's written. And that's it from me. Everyone, thanks ever so much for joining. Have a great evening. Goodbye.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Anna. Bye.
Bye.